Good morning, students. Today we are moving towards our next point, that is pregnancy and embryo development. Pregnancy and embryo development. In last video we have seen how there is occurrence of implantation. That is, already we are known there is a presence of uterus. And in this uterus there is entry of blastocyst. Now this blastocyst, it makes attachment with the endometrium. Endometrium. Here there is presence of inner cell mass, and this is nothing but the trophoblast. Now attachment of trophoblast to the endometrium of uterus is called as implantation. Now what happens after implantation? Now this diagram I will take downside. So this is the uterine wall. Now here already we are known, and trophoblast cells, they are present attached. Okay. Now some of the trophoblast cells, they are developing finger-like projections, and these finger-like projections we are calling it as chorionic villi. And here there is a presence of inner cell mass. Now we will move towards next point, how there is a formation of decidua. Decidua, it is nothing but the endometrium which is developed around the blastocyst. Decidua, it is the endometrium which is developed around the blastocyst. So here what will happen? So this total, it is nothing but the endometrium. So backside of this endometrium there is a presence of blood vessels. These are the blood vessels. Clear? Now implantation occurs, and last class we have studied that total blastocyst, it is covered with endometrium. Now this process we call it as implantation. Now what are the number of changes which are occurring in blastocyst, which leads to pregnancy and which leads to development of the embryo? So first change, it is nothing but development of the decidua. Now these cells which developed into finger-like projections, so these are called as chorionic villi. Okay. Now these chorionic villi which are present and attached to the endometrium. So this much region which helps in development of placenta. So this decidua, it is called as decidua basalis. That means the embryonic disc or inner cell mass where there is development of chorionic villi which are embedded in the endometrium. So this is the endometrium which leads to formation of placenta. It is called as decidua basalis. So where there is a formation of placenta means the interconnection between the embryo and the maternal tissue, that is mother's tissue and fetus tissue, where there is a presence of interconnection. So that endometrium which makes that interconnection, so that endometrium we are calling it as decidua basalis. Now as this blastocyst, it is covered with the endometrium. Now this endometrium which separates the blastocyst from the lumen, which separates the blastocyst from the lumen, that means the endometrium which is covered on the blastocyst and which separates this blastocyst from the lumen, it is called as decidua capsularis. It is called as decidua capsularis. Capsularis. In the word itself there is a presence of meaning. That means this is the blastocyst. Around this, whatever the endometrium it is developed, which separates this blastocyst from the lumen or the free cavity of the uterus. So it is called as decidua capsularis. It is called as decidua capsularis. And last one, it is nothing but decidua parietalis. Decidua parietalis. Now, rest of the endometrium, which is present in the cavity of uterus. So, rest of the endometrium, it is called as decidua parietalis. It is called as decidua parietalis. Initially, our blastocyst is small. Uterine cavity is large. So, our blastocyst it is present towards one side of uterus. But as our blastocyst it develops into embryo, total cavity it is filled with embryo. So, the endometrium which is covering the total cavity of the uterus, keep in mind, the endometrium which covers the total cavity of the uterus, it is called as decidua parietalis. It is called as decidua parietalis. So how many decidua? What is meant by decidua? Decidua, it is nothing but the endometrium developed during pregnancy or endometrium developed during implantation. So first there is a formation of decidua basalis, that is blastocyst when it is embedded into the endometrium, which leads to formation of placenta. The endometrium which leads to formation of placenta, it is called as decidua basalis. And the endometrium which is covering the blastocyst, it is called as decidua capsularis. And the endometrium which is covering the total cavity of the uterus, it is called as decidua parietalis. Decidua parietalis. Clear? In simple form, I am trying to explain this because actually this is not present in your textbook, but it is important for NEET. It is important for NEET. Clear? Now, there is a formation of decidua. Now, keep in mind, decidua, it is present up to the pregnancy. And it is present after delivery also. So, when the baby comes out, when the delivery process occurs, after 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour, whatever the extra layers which are removed, extra membranes which are coming out of the vagina, it is nothing but the decidua. It is nothing but the decidua. Clear? Now, there is formation of decidua. Next point, it is nothing but bilamellar embryo. That means we have studied whatever the changes which are occurring in the external side. Now, what are the changes which are occurring inside the blastocyst? What are the changes that are occurring inside the blastocyst? Now, this is the endometrium. This is the endometrium. Here there is the presence of trophoblast, that is the outermost layer of the embryo, that is the trophoblast. Okay. Now inside there is a presence of inner cell mass. Here there is presence of inner cell mass. Now inner cell mass, it is also called as embryonal knob. It is called as embryonal knob. Why it is called as embryonal knob? Because number of cells they are present attached to each other and they are forming the mass of the cell. That's why it is called as embryonal knob or inner cell mass. Now, these are the trophoblast cells. So, these trophoblast cells, when they are developing finger-like projections and embedded into the endometrium, so these cells they are called as cells of, these cells they are called as cells of Reber. These are called as cells of Reber. Keep in mind. So endometrium, penetration of the trophoblast cells inside the endometrium, it is done by the trophoblast. So to penetrate, they have to develop the finger-like projection, and these cells which changes their morphology to penetrate into the endometrium, these are called as cells of Reber. Okay, now what is present backside of cells of Reber? There is a presence of inner cell mass. There is a presence of inner cell mass. There is a presence of inner cell mass. Now what are the changes which are occurring in the inner cell mass? Keep in mind, trophoblast cells. Trophoblast cells, they are responsible for forming the extraembryonic membrane, and inner cell mass, it is the future embryo. It is the future embryo. So this embryo, it is formed from the inner cell mass. Inner cell mass, it gives rise to embryo. Trophoblast cells, it leads to formation of extraembryonic membrane. Clear? Now, inner cell mass, how it develops into embryo. How it develops into embryo. So, initially this inner cell mass, it is developing into bilaminar embryonic disc. It develops into bilaminar embryonic disc. Bilaminar, two-layer disc-shaped structure it is formed. That's why it is called as bilaminar embryonic disc. Now, how this embryonic disc it is forming? So, here there is a presence of trophoblast cell. Here there is a presence of trophoblast cell. Now, these trophoblast cells, they remain as it is. So, these are the cells of Reber. Okay, now cells of Reber slowly they start degenerating. Slowly they start degenerating. And inner cell mass, as it was present as a mass, it is adjusting itself into two layers. It is adjusting itself into two layers. Now this is the one layer. So outer cells, they are somewhat large cells, and this is one layer, and second small cells they are formed. This is the second layer. This is the second layer. Clear? So bunch of cell which was there, it adjusts themselves into two layers. One large cells which are present towards the attachment to the endometrium. These large cells are formed, and next row it is nothing but the small cells. So two-layer disc it is formed, and this two-layer disc it is called as embryonic disc or embryonal disc. Now the first layer which is formed, it is called as epiblast. It is called as epiblast, and the second layer it is called as hypoblast. So what happened? Inside the blastocyst, inner cell mass, it develops into embryo. But how it develops into embryo? Initially this inner cell mass, it adjusts themselves into two layers. One layer, it is made up of large cells, which we are calling it as epiblast, and another layer it is made up of small cells, which we are calling it as hypoblast. Now, what is the function of the hypoblast? For NEET purpose, what is the function of the hypoblast? Now, this hypoblast, it develops into extra embryonic membrane. It develops into extra embryonic membrane. That means here hypoblast cell, it is not playing important role in development of embryo. It never develops into embryo, but it develops into extra embryonic membranes. But epiblast cell, it is the main region, it is the main cells which are developing into embryo. So epiblast cells, these are the cells which has capacity to develop into embryo. Clear? So now epiblast cells formation occur. As there is a formation of two layers, as the inner cell mass it is adjusting itself into two layers. That's why it is called as bilaminar embryonic disc. Bilaminar embryonic disc. Now this epiblast region is there. Epiblast cells are there. So these epiblast cells, they develop into three germ layers. They develop into three germ layers, that is trilaminar embryo. It is developing into trilaminar embryo. Now, how there is development of trilaminar embryo? Up to epiblast cell it is clear. Now, how there is development of trilaminar embryo? So just consider this is the endometrium. This is the endometrium. Here there is a presence of trophoblast. Here there is a presence of trophoblast. Okay, so this is the trophoblast cells. Okay, and this trophoblast cell, it is covered with which type of decidua? It is covered with the decidua called as capsularis. Okay. Now, here cells of Ranvier were there. Cells of Reubers were there. So, these cells of Reuber, they degenerate. They slowly degenerate. As there is a degeneration occurs, so epiblast cell, it start moving very close to the trophoblast region. It starts moving towards the trophoblast region. Now, this is the epiblast. It is the epiblast. So this is the epiblast region. And there is a presence of hypoblast. Now this hypoblast, what it is doing? This hypoblast slowly it grows, multiplies, new cells are formed, and these new cells, they are covering the total free cavity present in the trophoblast. Total free cavity present in the trophoblast. Now, up to here it was hypoblast. So, it goes for mitotic division, it goes for growth and proliferation, and it develops the total cover or layer around the cavity. Okay, now how this epiblast, it develops into three germ layers? Because from 8th standard we are studying that any type of the embryo development, any type of the individual's development, it occurs from the development of three germ layers. Okay, so these three germ layers also already you are known, there is a presence of ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Clear? Now, some of the cells of the epiblast, they start showing growth. They start showing growth. That means they separate and there is a development of one layer between the hypoblast and epiblast. So if I draw this here, so this is the epiblast. This is the epiblast cells. Okay. This is the epiblast cells. Now some of the cells of the epiblast, they divide and they separate. And there is growth and development occurs, and this single layer which is formed, single layer as well as the first layer which is formed, this is called as endoderm. It is called as endoderm. Now keep in mind, the first germ layer which is formed during embryogenesis, it is nothing but the endoderm. Clear? So epiblast cells, some of the cells, they start dividing, they separate from this layer, they form the separate layer, and this layer we are calling it as endoderm for CET purpose as well as for NEET purpose. Which is the first germ layer formed? Answer should be endoderm. Clear? Now, as there is a separation occurs, there is a formation of one layer called as endoderm. Now, outermost layer, now these epiblast cells are there. So, these epiblast cells themselves, they act as second germ layer, that is called as ectoderm. It is called as ectoderm. Clear? So first, which germ layer is formed? Initially there is a formation of endoderm. Some of the cells of the epiblast, they separate from that layer, they start dividing and they are forming the endoderm. Whatever the epiblast cells are there, these epiblast cells, they themselves develop into ectoderm. Now, come to the point. Again, some of the cells from the epiblast, they separate and there is a formation of the third germ layer. And this third germ layer, it is nothing but mesoderm. Third germ layer, it is nothing but mesoderm. Clear? How many germ layers? There is formation of 3 germ layers. First formed germ layer, it is nothing but endoderm. Second formed germ layer, it is nothing but the ectoderm. And third formed, it is nothing but the mesoderm. Like this, there is a formation of 3 germ layers. There is formation of 3 germ layers. If I want to draw here, so here this is acting as ectoderm. Now it is not a epiblast, it is acting as ectoderm. Now this is acting as endoderm. And in between the ectoderm and endoderm, there is a formation of third layer, which we are calling it as mesoderm. So 3 germ layer disc is formed. Initially bilaminar embryonic disc is formed. That means only 2 layered disc is formed. Disc shape. Okay. Then this epiblast, it gives rise to 3 germ layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Now this is called as the embryonic disc. This is called as embryonic disc, or it is also called as trilaminar embryonic disc. So trilaminar embryo it is formed, that is endoderm, mesoderm, ectoderm. 3 germ layers formed. Already you are known. Ectoderm, it gives rise to number of tissues and organs. Mesoderm, it gives rise to number of tissues and organs. And endoderm, it gives rise to number of tissues and organs. So afterwards, in next video, I will show, or I will clearly show which tissues and organs they are formed from ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Clear? So total our outer covering, that is skin, brain, neural system, total it is formed from the ectoderm. Total it is formed from the ectoderm. So like this, if we take the example of heart, if we take the example of gut, they are formed from the mesoderm. Like this, number of differentiation is there, that we will study afterwards. But you have to keep in mind trilaminar, that is formation of 3 germ layers, it is occurring from the embryonal disc. That is embryonal disc, which is made up of 2 layers. Clear? So decidua completed, bilaminar embryonal disc completed, trilaminar embryonal disc completed. Now how there is a formation of extra embryonic membrane. Now in this diagram I will show how there is a presence of the embryo and how there is presence of extra embryonic membrane. Now total development occurs. Total development. So see here. This is the total uterine cavity which is containing endometrium. Now our embryo, it is present at the center. It is present at the center. Just consider this is the embryo. Okay. Now this embryo, it is present attached to the, this is present attached to the endometrium. So this total, it is nothing but the endometrium. Okay. Now this embryo, it is covered with the outermost. It is covered with the number of layers. So this is 1 layer. Then there is a presence of 1 more layer. There is presence of 1 more layer. And there is a presence of certain regions in between. Okay, like this there is a presence of this structure. And this one, it is nothing but the placenta, chorionic placenta. Clear? Now, this is growth and development of the embryo inside the uterus. So, total embryo, it is covered with the outermost trophoblast, and that trophoblast, it is covered with the endometrium. So, endometrium, it provides nourishment, nutrient to the growing embryo. Now, what are the number of extra embryonic membrane? Now, I will take this in detail here. So, this is the embryo. This is the embryo. Clear? Now, this embryo, it is present attached with, this is one. Here there is presence of one sac-like structure. Here also there is presence of one sac-like structure. Now, it is covered with one layer. It is covered with one layer. Now, this is one layer. Again, above this there is the presence of one more layer. So, this is the number of, these are the number of extra embryonic membranes. Now, the outermost layer it is called as chorion. Outermost layer it is called as chorion. See here. So, endometrium it is present attached with the chorion. Chorion, it is forming the outermost layer. Now, what is the function of the chorion? It provides a nourishment, because this chorion, it is producing finger-like projections. It is present attached with the endometrium. So, it makes attachment with the blood vessels and it helps in absorption of nutrients. So, chorion, it is the outermost layer made up of trophoblast cell and endometrium, and it helps in providing nourishment to the growing embryo. Clear? Now, inside this, there is the presence of the free cavity, and this free cavity is filled with the fluid. Now, next second layer, it is nothing but, the second layer, it is nothing but amnion. Second layer, it is nothing but amnion. Now, second layer, it is nothing but the amnion, and this amnion, it is present just nearer to the embryo. It is the innermost layer present towards the embryo. Now, inside this amnion, there is presence of amniotic fluid. What is present? There is presence of amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid. Clear? So, outermost layer, it is nothing but chorion, and inside that there is a presence of amnion layer. Now, this amnion layer, it contains a fluid. So, that fluid, it is called as amniotic fluid. That fluid, it is called as amniotic fluid. Now, what is the function of the amniotic fluid? As amniotic fluid is present, it helps in protecting the embryo from number of shocks and desiccations. What is the function of amniotic fluid? Amniotic fluid, it protects the embryo from number of shocks, plus it helps in protection of embryo from desiccation. Desiccation means breakdown. Suppose someone hit on the stomach. So what will happen? So that pressure, that shock, it may lead to breakdown of the embryo, or it may lead to create the shocks. So these shocks and the desiccation, it is protected by the amniotic fluid, which is present in amnion. Okay, all the nutrients which are present provided to the embryo, all these nutrients, they are present in this amniotic fluid. Clear? Now, towards midgut. Now this is the towards midgut. Okay, there is presence of one sac-like structure, and this sac-like structure we are calling it as yolk sac. We are calling it as yolk sac. Now, what is the function of the yolk sac? Already you are known. Reptiles, birds, they are laying eggs, and these eggs, they are rich in yolk sac. Because that yolk sac, it plays important role there. But in our body, especially if we take the example of the mammals, there is a presence of yolk sac up to a particular time period. up to a particular time period. Now this yolk sac, it helps in playing important role to produce blood and blood components. Blood and blood components. So for need purpose also it is important. So blood and blood components in our body, it is produced by the bone marrow. Now it is produced by the bone marrow. But earlier stage, first stage where there is a formation of blood and blood component occurs means it is yolk sac. Later on, after first trimester, this yolk sac's function, it is replaced by liver. It is replaced by liver, and after birth, it is replaced by bone marrow. That means first time blood and blood components, they are formed in yolk sac. After 3 months of the pregnancy, blood, it is formed in the liver. And when birth of the child occurs, blood, it is formed in the bone marrow. That means first initial stage where there is a formation of blood and blood component, it is nothing but the yolk sac. Clear? And last one, it is nothing but the towards hindgut. So this is the midgut. Towards hindgut, there is a presence of one more sac-like structure, and this sac-like structure, it is called as allantois. It is called as allantois. Now what is the function of the allantois? Hindgut. Keep in mind, hindgut means its main function is to remove the waste material from the fetus body or from the embryo body. Fetal body or embryo body. So allantois, it helps in removing the waste material from the fetus or embryo. Collection and storage of waste material, it occurs in the allantois. And later on, allantois, it leads to formation of blood vessels. It leads to formation of blood vessels, which helps in formation of, it leads to formation of placenta and umbilical cord. It leads to formation of placenta and umbilical cord. Okay, so these are the number of extra embryonic membranes: chorion, amnion, allantois, yolk sac. These are the 4 extra embryonic membranes which are covering the embryo or the fetus in womb of the mother. Clear? And the last point, it is nothing but placenta. Last point, it is nothing but placenta. So placenta. How there is formation of placenta. Okay. So placenta. This is the endometrium. This is the endometrium. Above the endometrium, there is presence of myometrium of the uterus. Myometrium of the uterus. Now, here there is presence of the fetus. Here there is presence of fetus. So just consider this is the embryo or fetus. Clear? Now, this one, when there is movement of finger-like projections from fetus and finger-like projections in mother, that is endometrium. So placenta, it is nothing but a formation of finger-like projections between mother and the fetus. So this interaction between the tissue of mother and tissue of the embryo, it is nothing but the placenta. It is nothing but placenta. So here it is there. Or if I want to show, here it is there. So we can show that there is a formation of chorionic villi. Now these chorionic villi, they are for moving towards the blood vessels, and these are the placenta. Okay, so interdigestion of just this is the endometrium of mother. These are the trophoblast cells of the growing embryo. So as it develops finger-like projection, these finger-like projection will get embedded into the mother's endometrium. So here there is a formation of junction between mother and fetus. So this is called as placenta. It is called as placenta. Now this placenta, it is also called as chorioallantoic placenta. It is called as chorioallantoic placenta. Now why it is called as chorioallantoic placenta? Because chorion and the allantois, both they are involved in formation of placenta. Both they are involved in formation of placenta. That's why it is called as chorioallantoic placenta. Now this placenta, it is also called as hemochorial placenta. It is also called as hemochorial. That means chorion, they are embedded into the mother's tissue, but there is exchange of nutrient, there is interaction between blood, that is mother's blood, it is entering into the fetus body. So this exchange of blood, it is occurring through small tubes. That's why it is called as hemochorial. That's why it is called as hemochorial. Hemo, blood. Chorion. So this chorion, it helps in exchange of blood between mother and fetus. That's why it is called as hemochorial placenta. So placenta, it is also called as chorioallantoic placenta and hemochorial placenta. Hemochorial placenta. Clear? Now, what is the function of the placenta? What is the function of the placenta? Main function of the placenta is to supply oxygen and nutrients to the fetus and to remove carbon dioxide waste from the fetus. That means this placenta, it helps in supply of oxygen and nutrients. Oxygen and nutrients. So as mother is breathing, oxygen from mother, it goes to the fetus. As mother is taking the nutritive food, after digestion, that nutritive food, it is provided to the fetus. So fetus never breathe. Fetus, it is breathing with the help of mother. Clear? So oxygen and nutrient, it is supplied to the fetus, and whatever the waste material, that is carbon dioxide, CO2, and whatever the nitrogenous waste which is formed, it is transported to the mother. That means from mother, oxygen and nutrient, it is supplied to the fetus, and from fetus, carbon dioxide and nitrogen waste, it is supplied to the mother's blood. So through blood, oxygen and nutrient is supplied and carbon dioxide and waste is removed. So this is the main function of the placenta. It is the main function of the placenta. And one more function of this placenta is, it is acting as the endocrine gland. It is acting as the endocrine gland. So during menstrual cycle we have studied. So corpus luteum, it develops the progesterone. Progesterone, it is considered as the pregnancy hormone. But these corpus luteum, they are present up to a particular time period. That means they are present up to 3 months. After 3 months, these corpus luteum, they stop their function. At that time, placenta, it helps in acting as gland. That means it is able to produce progesterone. It is producing estrogen. Along with this, it is responsible for producing human chorionic gonadotrophin, HCG, and HPL. Estrogen, progesterone, they are produced by placenta. Along with that, it is responsible for producing human chorionic gonadotrophin and human placental lactogen. Human placental lactogen. That means these are the 4 hormones which are produced by the placenta throughout the pregnancy. It is produced by the placenta throughout the pregnancy. For what purpose? To maintain the pregnancy. There is a release of 4 hormones, that is progesterone, estrogen, human chorionic gonadotrophin and human placental lactogen. Clear? Now, relaxin. It is one of the hormone produced during last stage of pregnancy. Last stage of pregnancy, and it is produced by ovary. It is produced by ovary. Keep in mind, relaxin. It is the hormone produced during pregnancy, but in late stage it is not produced by the placenta, but it is produced by the ovary. Clear? Okay. Along with this placenta, it helps in producing cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine. Cortisol, prolactin and thyroxine. Keep in mind, progesterone, estrogen, human chorionic gonadotrophin, human human placental lactogen. It helps in growth and development of the fetus. It helps in maintaining pregnancy. But if we observe the blood of the mother, high increase in hormones such as cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, it is occurring during pregnancy. And for what purpose it is produced? So these three hormones, they are produced for metabolic reactions. They are produced for metabolic reactions. So to increase the metabolism of mother and fetus, to increase the metabolism of mother, there is high concentration of hormones, that is cortisol, prolactin and thyroxine. So these three hormones concentration in mother's body, it is increased during pregnancy. For what purpose? Metabolic reaction. Okay, so I think you have heard about when the menstrual cycle is not coming, at that time the females, they are using certain kit to check the pregnancy. So confirmation, it occurs because of change in color of that band. So it is occurring because of presence of human chorionic gonadotrophin. So as there is a development of placenta it immediately secretes more and more human chorionic gonadotrophin, and this human chorionic gonadotrophin, it is released from the urine. And it is used to confirm the presence of pregnancy. If there is presence, color change occurs, and this color change, it shows the confirmation of pregnancy. And if there is no presence of human chorionic gonadotrophin in the urine, it shows there is no presence of the pregnancy. Okay, so this is about the formation of embryo and extra embryonic membrane, how there is occurrence of pregnancy. Clear? So pregnancy and embryo development. Now, pregnancy, pregnancy means growth and development of the embryo in the mother's womb for 9 months 9 days. Pregnancy 9 months 9 days. Now this pregnancy period we are dividing into 3 semesters, not semester, it is called as misters. Okay, so trimester. So pregnancy, it is present for 9 months and 9 days. 9 months and 9 days. So these 9 months we are dividing into triplets. So first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. First trimester, second and third. So first trimester means 1, 2 and 3 months. First 3 months. Second trimester means 4, 5 and 6 months. And third trimester means 7, 8, 9. That means 3 months 1 trimester. These 3 months second trimester and these 3 months third. That is first, second, third trimesters. Now, what are the number of changes which are occurring? How there is growth and development of the embryo occurs? Okay. Now, first trimester, that is placenta formation, umbilical cord formation. Umbilical cord, it is made up of allantois, it is made up of chorion, it is made up of placenta. So all these combinedly, they are connected to the fetus body from the mother. That's why it is called as umbilical cord. I think I forget to explain, but placenta along with chorion and allantois, and yolk sac, combinedly it is called as umbilical cord. Okay, so after birth of the child, we are cutting that pipe. So that pipe is nothing but the umbilical cord. Clear? Now, first trimester, what are the number of changes they are occurring? So first trimester, that is first month. Immediate after completion of first month, there is a development of the heart. So first month of the pregnancy, development of heart occurs, and this development of the heart we can identify by listening the sound of heart, that is heartbeat through stethoscope. So after completion of first month or up to completion of first month, what is developed? There is development of heart, and identification of heart sound, it is done by stethoscope. So first month, heart development. Heart development. Now up to third month, that is up to completion of first trimester, total tissues and organ development occurs. Tissues and organ development occurs. If we don't want the child, at that time we are planning to go for abortion. Abortion, it is completed before 3 months. Why? Total organs, they are not formed in the fetus. That's why we can go for that. But after 3 months, we are unable to go for abortion because there is high risk to the mother. That means up to third month, total tissues, organ systems, they are formed. Total organ systems, they are formed. Now, second trimester, that is 4th, 5th, 6th. So, if we take the example, in 5th month, development of limbs, development of forelimbs and hind limbs occur, and along with these, there is first movement of the fetus occurs. First movement of fetus occurs. So, what are the number of changes? So, there is a presence of formation of heart. It occurs during the first month, and total tissues and organs, they are formed in the third month. Now, second trimester when it begins, 5th month, forelimbs and hind limbs, they are formed, and this fetus, it shows first movement. That means it rotates, it makes a movement in the womb of the mother. So first movement, it is observed in 5th month. Okay, and during third trimester, that is 7th month, total development occurs. That is eyelashes open, eyelashes. So hairs they are formed on the total body of the fetus. So total development of the hairs, eyelids open, eyelashes are formed. So this total, it is occurring up to 7th month. And after 7th month, there is occurrence of growth and development of the fetus. Growth and development of fetus. Clear? So first month, heart development. Third month, tissue and organ systems, they are formed. 5th month, first movement of the fetus, it occurs in the womb of the mother. Hairs are formed on the head region. 7th month, total body, it is covered with hairs. That means hair development occurs on the body. Eyelashes are formed. Eyelids open, eyelashes form. So this, it is completed up to 7 months. And again 2 months, fetus, it goes for growth and development. Okay, so number of changes are there, but whatever the changes they have given in your textbook, that much only it is sufficient. Clear?